Alright guys, welcome back to the channel once again, and today we're gonna be talking about the XHR request in the Django template engine. So let's suppose we have a form and we want to make the post request in the same page, like we don't want to reload the page, want to redirect on next page from that form. We just want to make the request from that form, from that HTML page into the same application on a route. So that's how we can do. So we can do by the Django XHR request or Ajax request. So I'm just going to show you how we can do that. So let's get started. Let's go to the terminal. Okay, so just check out on the folder size. So let's create one folder over here. So get your new Vivo app. Okay, so inside that just create one env env. So my env, so env has been created. Let's activate that env. So my env slash bin slash activate. So you can see my env has been activated. So you can see my env is coming over here. Now let's create the Django application. Cd new Django app and just create Django admin start project test app. Okay, cd test app and just manage the file and server. So you can see my server has been started. Let's go over here, localhost 8000, and we can see our server is running. Let's go into the code and open that folder. Open that one. So this is our folder structure right now. Let's create one app inside of that. So just control C, python manage.py start app test app, and our application has been created. So you can see over here. So let's run our app. Now we can run our server over here. Okay, server has been started. Let's create one urls.py file into this one .py, and let's go over here, just copy all the things from here, control C, control V, and just remove this one from here, and let's create one more path, and inside the path just make it default index name equals to index. Okay, so just go into the vs.py and over here just create one function index request and return render request template name gonna be index.html. Okay, so this is your HTML file. So we need to create one template folder as well. Templates, inside that we need to create one file index.html base.html. so base.html gonna be your base file. So just create one HTML boilerplate, and so for this boilerplate, like this boilerplate, I have just installed the plugin HTML extension. So you can install that extension and it will give it to you as well. So I'm just going to create the block content over here, block. So just type the content. So whatever the content you will write into the index.html, it will inherit this one. Okay, so content. Okay, so just go into this one and extend this block content into the index.html. Extends base.html. so you have extended the base.html over here, block. So now type content. So you have inherited that one, so it's gonna be inherited. Now whatever the content you will write inside of this one, so it will go into this one, and all the boilerplate gonna be included into the index.html as well. So okay, so that's it gonna do. So let's include our index templates into our settings.py as well. So just go over here, type os. Okay, so we need to import the OS first. Import OS os dot path dot join templates, so it will include the templates into your app. Okay, now let's reload our and also urs.py. Okay, so we need to include this urs.py into this one as well, so just include over here. After that, just go path default include test application dot urls. Okay, control S, so it will include the test application urls, so all the urls gonna be included over here. So this is your main project configuration and this is your app configuration. So whatever the configuration you need to do related this test application app, so you will do only inside of this, and the whole project include multiple apps into this Django, so all the configuration you can do into this folder. Okay, so we need to just go into the browser and reload our page. So it says there's going nothing. Why? Let's check this out. Just going nowhere currently. Let's check this out. Why? Templates we have included use.py request and okay, so you need to include the template engine like this one, so that's why it's not going anywhere. Control S. Let's see if we are okay. So our server is not running now. Index is not defined. What the heck? So into the urls.py we need to include the index as well. From dot views dot index. Okay, now let's see, our error has been resolved now, and if we reload this page, so we can see the we are getting the blank page. So just go into the index.html, type something, hello world. Let's type random thing and reload. So you can see are getting. Now I'm going to include one form, so I'm just going to use the tailwind css over here. So tailwind css documentation. Okay, so this is the older one, tailwind css latest one. css.com, go into the docs, play with CDN, copy the CDN from here, control C, go into your VS Code, go into the base.html, just go over here, include the CDN. Okay, now find one form component, so just go into the component section. Okay, so find one form component. So I'm just going to find one free component over here, like free form component. So just make sure that lock icon is showing, which means you need to buy this component, otherwise just find free one. So there would be one free form component over here. So this is the sign in component over here, so you can get this one, get the code of this. So let me try. So this one looks nice, I think. Okay, so we can get this one, get the code. Okay, so we need to buy this one. Okay, and this one also we need to buy. Okay, so this one is I think free, so you can go into the code side and just copy it directly, go into the VS Code, index.html, remove this one, copy and paste all the code, go into the browser, the local host, and then this one. So you can see we are getting the form over here. Open the console. Okay, so into the console we're gonna see all the responses and all the things. So let's go over here and configure something. So let's create one script over here first. The script. Okay, inside the script we're gonna create one function. Submit form. Here we got the event. Okay, so you can write whatever you want to write. So it's gonna throw the event to you. So I'm just gonna write e.event. So what it will do, whatever the default view of your form submission, it's gonna be remove that one. So on the form submission, you will see like it will automatically reload your page. So that won't gonna be happen over here. So I'm just going to remove the action method from here and just do it. and inside the John submit I'm just going to call that function. So form pass event over here. Okay, so submit form and you will pass the event and that will get tracked over here. Okay, so just create one form data to serialize your form data of the target. Form new form data and e dot target. So whatever the form element will throw the data, so they're gonna be serialized over here and will go into the form data. Okay, now we need to include that request script over here. So that's how we're gonna do. So first we need to include the CSRF token as well, because just because of that it won't gonna submit the form. So make sure if you are on the same origin and you are making an app into the Django, and if you are submitting the form, you need to include the CSRF token as well, otherwise it won't allow you to submit that form in the same origin policy. Okay, so just go into the Django documentation. Okay, go to documentation. Okay, over here now you search for CSRF token. CSRF. Okay, and you see how to use the Django CSRF protection. So there's so many things are written that you can read about this, why the Django CSRF is used and why this protection is required. So I'm just going to show you the Ajax request and how we can make that Ajax request. So first you need to include this line as well, like because acquiring a token CSRF use sessions and cookie HTTP only is true. So this is the process that otherwise you need to disallow this protection. So just copy this one before making any call and paste it over here, and after that just copy this code as well, because this is your request call, like you are just creating the request and making the fetch API call from your Django template, okay, into the same origin. So that's a kind of scenario you need to follow. So URL part, so I'm just going to create the URL with the name of submit. Okay, so my URL is going to be this one, just put comma over here. So token is automatically getting included. Now let's go and include the body part. So inside the body I will submit the form data. Okay, and just do console dot, and inside that you will see the response. Okay, so this is gonna be your response, whatever the response you will receive from here. Also you can include the dot catch method over here, and dot catch, into this dot catch you will, whatever the error you will get, so you can throw the error. Okay, console dot log error. Okay, so this is the kind of promises that we are doing over here. Okay, so this is all set over here for submission of form. So just go into the urls.py, create one route path submit comma submit form name submit. Okay, submit form. I haven't created this function yet, but I'm going to create it now. So just go into this view.py, create one function that will be request, and just go, so get the email. So I'm just going getting email and password from there. So request dot post, and post gonna be email password equals to request dot post password. So let me tell you one thing about that. If you are getting the post request or get request from the same origin, and you are sending the data and you want to receive that data into your API call, like whatever the request you are making, so you need to make request.post or request.get over here to receiving that data, because that is your form submission. Okay, so that is you are making into the same origin. If it is your REST API and you are making an API call, so this is not your REST API call, this is your simple URL call that you are making, that posting a data on a URL directly. This is a kind of action call into the form submission. So that's why you need to make it request.post. Whatever the method you have included into your form, like method is equal to post or get, whatever the method you have included, so that you need to follow over here and for getting the data request to post. And otherwise, if you are making the API call directly and that is your REST API, okay, so that time you need to do request.data because you are getting the data from the body, okay. So that you need to make sure. So in the next video, when I will create one Django REST application, like we will work into the REST framework for creating the REST APIs. So that time I'll show you about that, how we can use that request.data and API calls and all the things. So that gonna be basis on that. Okay, so let's print it out. Email, comma, password. And just type it identifier over here, like this one. So this is gonna be identifier, whatever the response we will receive. Into the return, I'm just sending render. Not render, just return something small. I'm just return HTTP response. And HTTP response successful. So let's try this out and see into this. So we have not received any error over here till now. Let's go into a local host. Okay, open the network tab. Okay, now just type email and password. Sign in. So you can see into the submit, page not found because of /submit. Okay, payload, we are sending the data payload, so email is correct, password is correct, whatever we have typed, but into the preview the page not found, it is showing like submit response is not correct, URL is not correct. Okay, let's check this out why it's not correct. So if we go into the urls.py, so we need to remove this slash from here. Okay, let's reload this page. And if I make the call again, so you can see I received the 200 response into this payload, and I also received the response as well, successful, whatever I have written into that. So this is coming as a HTML because once you call this HTML, return this HTTP response, so it will send you the HTML file. Okay, and payload, you can see whatever the data I'm typing over here, it's going into the payload. So form data is getting serialized, so you can see the form data as well, and this is our code. So that's it. Like I wanted to show you how you can make. So this was a very small thing, but it's very useful if you are making. So a lot of people get confused into that one. So that's why it's got very important to make you understand about this CSRF token and all the things. So this is how you can do. And earlier one, like in the previous video, I have already shown you, like you can directly make the action method, action call from here. You can make the request, make the form submission into the Django to do app. So I think it will. And next video gonna be on Django REST framework. So please keep in touch and stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll meet you in the next video.